Welcome to our breakfast presentation, Home Tech's 4 Fabulous Frontiers. Please welcome the sponsor of this morning's breakfast, Chris Lynch, Manager of Builder Services from Nortech.
Good morning. Cool, we're up. So again, I'm Chris Lynch, Nortech Control's Builder Services team. If you're not familiar with Nortech Control, we're based in Carlsbad, large technology company. A lot of people don't recognize the name Nortech Control, and that's primarily because we don't go to market as Nortech Control in regards to brands and the products we make. So we've got 12 different brands across numerous categories: access control, health and wellness, residential security, home automation, audio, video, and obviously with the breadth of those categories, we're a perfect fit for residential and commercial applications. As you can see, we're definitely not a startup. We've got a couple brands. In fact, one I think just hit 60 years, and believe it or not, over 45 million systems installed worldwide. So again, we've got 12 different brands. Whoops. 3 of those brands are really well suited to the kind of the market that we cover in the builder channel. Linear being one of those. As you can see, Linear makes garage door operators. We also do access control. So again, maybe you've got a common area, so we can get residents and guests onto the property, into the buildings, and like in multifamily applications into the units as well. ELAN is our legacy home automation platform. Actually 32 years, so we're actually one of the kind of pioneers when it comes to home automation. I would say 28 of those 32 years, ELAN was really well suited to the luxury home market. But obviously as technology has advanced, prices have come down, we see ELAN and really all kinds of different applications these days. And I would say, but I always tell people, throughout those 32 years, if you're not familiar with ELAN, we're really known for 2 things. It works, and it's easy to use. So simplicity and reliability are really keys to ELAN, and as you can see, with the user interface, it's meant so if grandma's watching the kids, she can easily turn the temperature down if she gets cold, but me as the power user can go in and set pool schedules, irrigation schedules, do lighting events and different things like that. So it's really simple to use, it's intuitive, and hopefully the future of home automation. What I will focus on a little bit today, go into more detail, is our 2GIG brand. So our 2GIG is residential security. We're a market leader in residential security. We probably hundreds of thousands of security systems each year are deployed from the 2GIG brand. We just launched a new cutting-edge panel. It's called Edge. So no longer, I think in the past, with security panels, most of the times, especially in new construction, we kind of hide them in a master bedroom closet. Maybe obviously at that front entry. Now, with the Edge panel, being that it truly is a touch panel, it can be mission central for the house. Some of the features it has, obviously security, has smart home control built into it, has live video view, so if you have cameras in the house or outside of the house, you get that live video view, and it's got a camera and microphone, so I can see and talk to people at the front door if I have a video doorbell. Also with that camera, it has facial recognition built into it. So I can walk right up to the panel, get that facial recognition, and disarm the system. And we also built in a ton of other technology into it, because as I talk through, we really focused on the technology infrastructure, and the Future Ready Hub ties that infrastructure together. So we want to make sure that Future Ready Hub can be in a home a good 8 to 10 years. So we can pack a ton of technology into it, so we can keep adding and enhancing the system, so it's not like a gadget that you have to pull off the wall every couple of years. And we, with the Consumer Technology Association, so that's the organization that runs the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas every year. It's a huge, huge, huge event. And the Edge panel did win for Best Security and Surveillance Product this year. Our Builder Services team, again, we're really, really proud of what we do. We've got a strong team led by Brett, myself, and Liz Rhodes. All 3 of us are here this week, so come by and say hi. We have a really, really big field sales team to make sure that we can support all of our builder partners and dealer partners out in the field, no matter where you are in the country. As far as industry relations, again, I like to show this not because, hey, this is all the organizations I got and spew my vast technology and the home knowledge. It really is so we can kind of listen to our builder partners and designers and really kind of understand what trends are happening, what the pain points are, so our programs can be built to enhance that. Not enhance the pain, make them better. And that same Consumer Technology Association actually awarded our builder services team Best Support and Education Programs. That's, again, huge deal. That's a really large organization. And builder services, again, because we have different brands that cover different categories that are really well suited to the builder market, we actually have 4 different builder programs. So today, I'll focus on our brand new program, the 2-gig new home program powered by Alarm.com. We also have the ELAN new home program, linear MDU, and our linear GDO. So, and again, I'll just breeze through these. The ELAN new home program, again, beyond just providing technology for the home, what we're always looking to do is how can we help builders sell more homes? So all of our programs are built really to kind of enhance that. So whether it's model home programs, sales trainings, engineering and design support, just that nice manufacturer oversight, knowing that you've got a team behind you and your dealer partner. Those are things that we use to drive these programs beyond just adding the technology to the house. Again, linear MDU and GDO do many of the same things in the ELAN new home program, but obviously like in the GDO market, rebates are great, so we have a really strong rebate program within that as well. So again, happy to announce this is the launch of the 2-gig new home program powered by Alarm.com. So a strategic partnership between 2-gig and Alarm.com to provide best-in-class, again, builder services and support for adding technology. I like to say there's probably 3 key pillars in regards to what our program needs to provide to builders. First off is making sure that we've got that smart home platform that's future ready and free to use by the homeowner when they move into the house. Cost-effective hardware, so whatever we attach to the smart technology, whether it's lighting, climate, doorbells, music, again, we want it to be cost-effective for you as the builder and for the homeowner as well. And then to me, this is really important, simplified implementation. So whatever smart devices attached to that infrastructure, whether it's a smart light switch, whether it's a smart thermostat, I want to make sure you're still using the exact same HVAC trades you're using, use the same electricians. They don't have to go at a different level. They don't have to be specially trained. We're not going to mess with your current implementation, and that's really important for us. As I said, the last thing we're going to do is add smart features to a house and make our homeowners have to pay for it when they move in. So in our partnership with Alarm.com provides homeowners 3 free years of home automation services. And obviously, again, with Alarm.com, the 2-gig panel, again, completes what I call that technology infrastructure. It ties together those wired and wireless devices, gets them talking to each other, and then extending it throughout the outside of the house, partnering with Alarm.com's app. Again, that one platform, one app. And again, now I've got, besides the convenience of just having one application, again, now these things are working together. It could be just as simple as walking up to the front door and it's, I press the video doorbell, it's after 7:30. Hey, the system knows it's nighttime. Let's turn on the overhead light so I can see who's at the front door a little bit better. Simple things like that, getting these devices working together. So again, in my boardroom sessions and my one-on-ones, I talk over and over again about your role as a builder is not to focus on the shiny objects. It's to focus on the technology infrastructure, because that's what you do. You do electrical infrastructure, HVAC, plumbing. Technology infrastructure is just the same. And if you want to know more about the technology infrastructure, just ask me. I'll be happy to tell you. And again, we say that future-ready hub, the edge panel, really ties that together. However, from a sales and marketing standpoint, it's nice to have some smart devices come with the house. Again, you do the plumbing infrastructure, but I do want to have some plumbing fixtures as well. So from a sales and marketing standpoint, it's not a bad idea to have some smart devices. Again, something that's cost-effective for you, but also compelling for the homeowner. So it could be as simple as lighting, climate, door locks, video doorbell. Again, something nice that the homeowner moves in with. And then what really kind of sets us apart is how we work with our builder partners and our service providers to put together personalization packages. Again, new home buyers are unique. I buy a new home because I can personalize it. I'm the first one that moves in, and we believe that in 2021, new home technology personalization should be the exact same process as personalizing my house in a design center, whether I'm getting flooring, cabinets, and tile, and whatever. So we build out these packages, again, lifestyle-oriented, peace of mind, surveil it, music everywhere, music under the stars, movie time, Wi-Fi everywhere, water warden, again, lifestyle, so these buyers can pick these packages based on what's important to them. If I'm into safety and security, maybe I'll go towards those. If I want entertainment, maybe I'll head towards those. So rather than doing kind of a good, better, best, or a bunch of a la cartes, again, lifestyle, and now I can, from a sales and marketing standpoint, I can tell a story around it. And that's where we move into our, what we call our builder blueprint. And again, these are different ways that we support you as the builder to take ownership of this category and be successful. It starts with our model home program, so all of our builders on the program get free model home product, and we also have a model home merchandising kit. A smart light switch looks the same as a dumb one. So we've got these nice call to action throughout the house, again, reminding me of the intelligent benefits of smart lighting, climate, and then those kind of things, and then also reminding me, hey, this is a 2021 home. I didn't see this kind of stuff over at that builder. And again, just a nice way, that silent salesperson. Again, the sales and marketing support, I'll get into that a little quickly. Sales training and education. Again, we do hosted sales trainings, whether it's virtual or in person, for every single builder and community on our program. And again, we don't talk about the technology standards and things like that, but we get the sales agents talking about technology in the sales process. Because again, that's their motivation, is to sell the house. If the technology in the house is a way to do that, they're going to talk about it. We give them the tools to do that. Again, project design and support, pre-close and post-close support, again, our oversight, and then what we do with alarm.com. Starting with, Madison talked about this yesterday in her session, the community management. Don't just use this for your model homes. Use this for your vacant properties. Reduce theft. Great for energy conservation. Great for your superintendents. They don't have to go around to each home and lock the doors at the end of the night. A great way to manage each of your communities, and it's free to use. And again, UTour as well. As we're moving towards the post-COVID world, we still want to talk to anybody or be with anybody again for whatever reason, not like me. But again, now we can set up UTour. Again, works seamlessly with alarm.com's community management dashboard. Other things that we do on the 2-gig side of things, whether it's print or digital, we create these beautiful brochures. And again, this is your collateral. So your logo, your interior, exterior images, talks about you or your community. And this is just a perfect way to kind of, as that prospective home buyer comes in, again, this is a 2021 builder. We've thought about technology, and here's what comes standard with your house from a lifestyle standpoint. Here's what comes, and then kind of introducing them to those packages. So again, they're thinking about that technology and then the new home personalization before they even buy the house. And then after they buy the house, what we do is we extend it to the design center. So work with independent design centers, your own. If you have your own design centers, we beg and plead for a little bit of real estate. And what we do is, again, show you it's 2021. New home personalization now includes technology. And from a lifestyle standpoint, we show the different technology options that are available to your home buyers. What you're looking at is one from our ELAN brand, but obviously we do them for 2-gig. We just wanted to show that one just because I love it. It's so pretty. But again, a great way. And again, we just give us a little bit of real estate. And what we do is we fit these to the theme of whether it's your marketing campaign or the theme of that design center. Other things we do, we've got a great marketing team. So we've got, we can help you with digital marketing, set up Instagram campaigns for you. We do press releases on all of our communities, lots and lots of case studies. We can do job site signage and advertising and a lot more. And that's kind of a quick overview of our program. Again, if you want some more information, obviously, you'll probably see me in one of the boardrooms or one of the one-on-one meetings. If not, definitely come by our booth. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Nortec, for sponsoring this morning's breakfast. I'd like to invite the panelists to come on up while I make some introductions. So we've got a lot to unpack today. We're going to go through and touch on the 4 fabulous frontiers: kitchen, office, bath, and outdoors. And we're going to talk about high-level amenities that home buyers are looking for today, right? You've got limited amount of product to sell right now, and you got people looking to really change their lifestyle. And these are 4 areas that our panelists will touch on and help you guys understand some new ways, perhaps, to enhance those areas, and some new ways to market those areas to both bring in more buyers and hopefully get the sell-through and the options, and ultimately selling the homes and making more money. So we're going to go through this at the end. I'm going to invite a colleague up to do a little discussion on the Housing Transformation Summit coming up in a couple months. And that is an event too that is really geared towards helping to differentiate new homes from the used home market. And these are 4 areas that are going to be key in that, right? Why would I buy a new home versus a used home? Because I can get things in that new home that you can't easily get in a used home. So there's a little bit of a primer to some of those areas. So first, I am going to have the panel introduce themselves just so you know who they are. We have one person who's remote. And so Sean, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. So I'm Sean Stover. I'm the Vice President of Smart Home Solutions at GE Appliances. And so we really work with all of our product teams, all the products that you guys are familiar with, on how we bring smart technology and bring convenience, peace of mind, and performance to those products as you put them in your homes.
Jerry Calder, I'm with Snap One. I'm responsible for the builder and security program, and frankly, I'm just here to support our Claire partner, Claire One, which a lot of you have had an opportunity to come see. I'm also responsible for the Control4 products and obviously the builder programs that support those. So,
Liz?
Awesome. Hi, good morning. Liz Womack with Hunter Douglas. I'm the National Sales Manager and part of the strategic partnership team this year focused on connecting you all with Hunter Douglas distributors in your area. So excited to be here.
All right, Michael.
Thanks. Hey, my name's Mike Wolf. I am a publisher and event producer. I run an event called the Smart Kitchen Summit. It's entering its 6th or 7th year, I lose track. And I run a news site called The Spoon that looks at the future of food and cooking and everything related to the kitchen.
Awesome. And Shane, who is remote. Say hi, Shane. Introduce yourself, please.
Good morning, everyone. Shane Alice, thank you for having me here. I am the Director of Product Marketing and Business Development for Smart Solutions for Kohler Company Kitchen and Bath.
Great. Thank you. So as again, the 4 areas we're going to talk to in order will be the kitchen, the bath, we'll move to the office, and then we'll touch on some elements outdoors. Now, to get us started, I've worked with Mike in an event last September, and there was a lot of great information. So we're going to have Mike touch on the smart kitchen revolution and trends in what's driving this and elements that we should be looking for.
Great. I'm kind of the odd duck here. I'm more of like a journalist analyst, so I can be as quick or as long as you want me to be, depending on how if I'm boring you.
Take your time.
Back when I started the Smart Kitchen Summit in 2015, the smart home had fully arrived. You saw companies like Nortec and all these great companies introducing really cool things at CEDIA, at the Builder Show, at CES. Google had acquired at that point Nest. Amazon had introduced the Echo. And so it was fully underway, but one room was conspicuously left behind, which always struck me as weird. The kitchen. It was kind of an island unto itself. We saw all these advances in lighting and all these home systems, but the kitchen, where my family spends like the bulk of its time, was not getting the same love and attention from the innovators. And I always thought that was so weird, so I decided to start an event about it called the Smart Kitchen Summit. And the working thesis was, at some point, the kitchen itself would start to see all these advancements, and we'd see a complete reinvention over the next decade. And by and large, I think we're tracking pretty well. I think we're starting to see a ton of innovation from companies, that like Sean and others are representing the big appliance brands. The companies like Nortec are starting to pay attention to it. And this is a framework that I had presented last year, and I think we've already kind of started to see movement along it. So, in 2015, appliance brands really didn't have connectivity in their appliances. They weren't really thinking like technology companies. They didn't really think like Tesla and say, hey, how can I add features over time to my appliance? This appliance that I sell, I'm not going to see it. I'm going to sell it into the home, and it's going to depreciate over time very quickly. And new features, forget that. You get what you get when you bought it. I think by and large that thinking has largely changed. If you look at appliances today, pretty much a lot of the new ones, the high-end ones, certainly have Wi-Fi. I think you're starting to see them by and large become smart. Voice is integrated into the home. And I use Alexa. I'm always conscious of saying Alexa because I'm using my office. She wakes up and starts, super annoying. and so we see voice as a key interface, and the kitchens where like voice interfaces are really taking off. Consumers use them in their kitchen a lot. Over 50% of the new voice interfaces go there. And I think people have realized that video was a white space in the kitchen. Why are we spending all this time and not putting great video screens either on our refrigerators or above the fridge or somewhere where we can get great content, we can use it for things like cooking, shopping, et cetera. I think that realization has really landed. Where I think we are today is really kind of the second phase where we're starting to see a systemic approach of all these different things come together. You're starting to see the security system, the front door, the kitchen, all start to kind of communicate and interoperate together, voice systems, et cetera. I think we're starting to see the arrival of new interfaces beyond just voice, whether that's movement or we're starting to see companies experiment with things like gaze, like where am I looking? And can that be a contextual adder to my voice as an interface? And so I think we've kind of started to see really more holistic thinking when it comes to the kitchen. Where I think it's going in the future is I think over time we see the technology built in. Kitchens become more sentient. That's a scary word as I think about it. Exactly. We have arrived. I think kitchens become more personalized, right? Why do we have a one-size-fit-all kitchen when we have 4 or 5 different use cases? Each individual in the home is a different person. Why not customize the home at the point or the kitchen to the person that's in it at that given time? And I think finally, and I think GE's starting to think this way, certainly by what I saw even last year at CES, kitchens are going to become more sustainable and regenerative, and we're going to start to grow food there. We're going to start to become, they're going to become zero waste, have smaller carbon footprints. I think that becomes more important over time. So just high level, general kind of talk. I can certainly answer questions, but I think I want to hand it off to Sean really from here to
Well, let me ask a couple of quick questions first. So what are the key drivers? So builders need to, whatever they put in their home, they got to market something to track people in. Are these solutions making it easier to cook, helping rookies be better at cooking, taking someone who's really a hardcore hobbyist cook, and how does it impact the different type of people that will use the kitchen? What are the keys that they should be putting out there to track these buyers saying, I've got a new home with a killer kitchen experience?
Well, I mean, I think builders realize kitchens are like huge selling points, but the tricky balancing act you play is like you don't want to put a bunch of technology that like in 2 years is like antiquated. You don't want the blue screen of death in the kitchen. So I think just really thinking forward to provide an infrastructure to which you can build around that is flexible over time, and thinking about all the different use cases. Johnny Gray out of the UK talks about this idea of the 4-generation kitchen. Increasingly, you're seeing multiple generations under one roof, and I think that is going to become more true over time. So how do you build a kitchen that speaks to and really works for grandma as well as your 10 or 5-year-old kid? That's like such a tricky balancing act. But I think the exciting thing is I think the technology is coming. I think we are seeing more Teslas in the kitchen, like where we can add upgrades and features over time through powerful software, through connectivity, through increased compute in the kitchen. But I think the challenge for you as builders, is you're going to have to think about this and work hand in hand with the system integrators, et cetera, and the appliance manufacturers. But I think it's an exciting time.
So I saw that interview you did with Johnny Gray. It was really interesting. They touched on construction changes or concepts. So between the multi-generational kitchen and some of the countertop gadgets that are advertised all over the place, is that going to affect how you lay out the kitchen? Do you need more storage space? And Johnny talked about bigger pantries and fewer cabinets. What's that about?
Yeah, I mean, my wife and I have the biggest source of tension is all the gadgets I want to bring into the kitchen, because I keep getting more and more, and where do I put them all? That is a first world problem, but it's one that I have. But I think the countertop is where always the new technology arrives first, because it's easier to do something that is goes on top of your counter, has all the bells and whistles, like the June oven, right? It was the first real smart oven. But now you see appliances from GE, from Whirlpool, really amazing ovens that are getting better over time and they're modular, they're upgradable. So I think just thinking about giving people space to add those countertop things, but realizing those things are temporal, And I think the longer term things are going to be ultimately built in. So I think that's where the mindset is.
Perfect. Well, thank you. That's a great segue over to Sean, where we can talk about these typically static appliances that now are multi-purpose and they get smarter over time.
That's right.
Sean, tell us about it.
Yeah, so I mean, as builders, right, I mean, things start with design first, right? So when we look at it, you gotta have a great looking appliance. You gotta have something that fits the style of the client that you're going after. So we have things across our profile brand, which is more of our modern, sleek look, all the way to our cafes, which, you know, give you more of a design style, allow you to pick kind of how you want to fit in that kitchen. And then modern glass is kind of our, you know, our sleekest look that we've got out there that really kind of fits into the pieces. So we've got a nice broad portfolio of things that at least start the conversation. Our smart technology runs across all of those pieces, though. So we don't kind of pick and choose necessarily what gets smart and what doesn't. So we have things like integrated sous vide into our induction cooktops. You know, we have Heston Q guided pans that can take a novice person and make a fantastic meal, and it guides you through that entire process with precision control. You know, cameras in our ovens that you know are a stem off of the June oven that can see what's in there and understand what it's cooking and be able to layer on AI and machine learning on top of that to be able to take a cook from average or novice and allow you to put something on the table that you can be proud of. Right, so we've got that across all of our pieces that are out there today and across all the selections that we have. So we've got a really nice broad selection to be able to apply into the format of the kitchen. But beyond that, you go into things, because expectations are set by these things, right? I mean, that when you look at electronics, the interface is important. You know, Michael talked about voice, but when you look at the interface of the actual products, you start to say, well, what can happen over time? And so kind of the things that we're doing right now is we're really looking at the interface of our appliances and saying, what can we give to consumers that is unexpected? Because when you bought an appliance before, it kind of sat there and it didn't really change at all. So things that we're doing right now is we're looking at the interface and we're adding things like wallpaper and allowing that person to be able to select and personalize what they want to have on their appliance. Things like weather and those types of integrations into the products that allow you to kind of look over at your wall oven and see that it's 75 degrees outside or it's going to rain today. Things that you would expect from not only your phone but also things like your Echo shows or your you know, Nest Home types of displays. Those things are coming into it. So we have teams that are constantly, every single month, we're changing that and creating that interface and that interaction and engagement with consumers. But from an upgradability standpoint, we've also brought in performance aspects. So back in April, we connected all of our connected ranges, about 210,000 that were eligible out there, got air fry. So to Michael's point of, you know, technology kind of starts on the countertop. You're all familiar with air fryers that sit on your countertop. And in all my times, right, there's kind of, I call them the four truths. There's never enough time. There's never enough countertop space. There's never enough cabinet space, and the kitchen's the heart of the home. And all the research that I've done at GE Appliances. So that kind of helps take that thing off the countertop and build it into the product. Now I've got a full-size product that I spent a lot of money on that has all of that technology built into it. And it was 3 years old. It wasn't there the day that they bought it. It wasn't there the day that you put it into the homes. But it gets better over time. And we're looking at that on every quarter. So in the fall, we're going to have a fall update, so you can all imagine what a fall update would be for cooking. And then there'll be a winter update and so on and so forth. And we're looking at expanding that across all of our product lines into laundry, into dishwasher, et cetera. So.
Sort of connecting what Michael said about the multi-generational kitchen. You got grandma and you got young kids.
Sure.
Any safety features that either help know that grandma left the stove on or prevent a young person from accidentally doing something that could harm them?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, from a cooking standpoint, you know, if the cooktop's left on for over 60 minutes because you may be, you know, cooking chili or something like that, those are things that are built in. So the notifications, again, set by the expectations by these phones, those are the things that we can continue to communicate to consumers, whether it be a safety-related thing or a convenience-related thing. You may have a second floor laundry that, you know, The laundry doesn't have that buzzer that you can hear across the neighborhood anymore, right? It's got a nice little tone on it. But your phone can let you know that. Your Alexa or Google or your Sonos or your Bose speaker that have those types of integrations can tell you that your laundry is ready to be done. You can, if you're sitting out on the back porch enjoying a glass of wine and it tells you that you're listening to music and it tells you that it's done, you can say just extend the tumble because I'm going to finish my glass of wine in this conversation before I'm going to go and do that. So there's really a lot of layers well beyond the phone, which is where everybody's kind of head goes from a smart standpoint, that lay into that convenience of what it means to have a home and to have a smart home and to have that convenience that comes along with it.
So moving into the marketing aspect, I'm not sure if you want to talk to any of the sort of features here that you enhance with the kitchen. Why don't we do that, and then we'll jump into some of the tools you have to help the builder salespeople and design center people present and get the sell through.
Okay. Yeah, so this is an example here on this slide that kind of shows you that evolution of the interface and the things that come along with it and what we're doing. So the things across the top are those things that I talked about every 3 to 4 weeks. This is something new that the consumer's getting. They're just getting it on their phone or they're seeing it on their display. It's like, hey, a new update is available, similar to how you get a new update on your phone. And these are the things that are now present in your product. The things across the bottom are those larger performance updates that I talked about with air fry. Again, very hot, lots of people looking at it. And our ability to be able to provide that and then to provide content either via this display or via the app helps that consumer understand how to use it. Because I don't know how many of you have an air fryer, but sometimes I can't operate it without a recipe. Right? I don't know what temperature to put it at or anything like that. And this is a great way for us to be able to develop content and deliver it for those consumers. But then I think the next slide kind of shows you, like, so what does that mean? As you look at kind of what Michael showed today, the near future and the future, so that home is an emotional place, right? I mean, this is an investment. It's the single largest investment that they're going to make, right? And they're going to spend their life there. And so as you look at the life of a person and you look at how can appliances or how does even the home fit into that? Well, it should change with their life, right? I mean, if they're beginning, there's a certain expectation and a certain thing that they need. But as that family grows, why can't you have a thing like baby mode? Why can't I give you the perfectly temperatured water out of your refrigerator for making baby formula? And the perfect temperature or the perfect cycle for sanitizing those baby bottles, and the perfect cycle for washing those baby clothes. But as that child ages, it should change too. I should go from baby formula to hot chocolate. I should go from baby bottles to sports bottles. I should go from baby clothes to soccer uniforms. And then progress that on into things like the cameras and the smart technology that's there that says, well, why do I need to know that I roast a chicken at 425 degrees? Why can't I just put a chicken in the oven and tell you that I like it like this, and then it goes ahead and does it? And that's the type of technology and the evolution that we've built into our products, is to be able to deal with those life changes and those life cycles that come along with it.
And so there's some interesting tools to present these features. Why don't you quickly walk us through?
Yeah, so this is a demonstration tool. This is an example of a custom display, but imagine this could be your model home. So smart technology has been difficult to demonstrate, right? It needs Wi-Fi, it needs all these connectivities. What we've done is we've created a scenario of connecting these products together along with some of our partners, Sonos, Ring, et cetera, to be able to demonstrate that and use our kitchen hub, which is that screen above the range, to be able to provide that video content to those consumers as they come into either the showroom or into a model home that says, this is what the Ring experience can be like. This is what the Sonos experience can be like. So if I press Sonos, I can play the music, the Sonos speaker starts playing the music. None of that is done by Wi-Fi. It's all wired together, all in a self-contained type of a piece, and it's updatable. So as things change, it's a cellular modem. We basically send down some new content. It shows up on the kitchen hub. But the interesting thing is I've heard many conversations about frictionless, about self-guided tours, right? So if you take that, this is full, and you see the little snapshot down in the corner. This thing is full of analytics. So you get to understand how long people have spent with this product, what things did they press, what did they interact with. So as you look at self-guided tours and not having somebody there, that gives you the idea and the ability to be able to provide that analytics back to you and your team to be able to say, what does smart mean to these customers and how much time did they spend there?
Awesome, thank you. So Sean, still with us?
I think it's Shane.
Shane, you're Sean.
Transition from Sean to Shane.
Sean
was
to
never
Shane.
easy.
Say that
I
3
know.
times fast. So before we leave the kitchen, talk to us about plumbing fixtures and faucets and water management, things of that nature, please.
Yeah, so, you know, when we think about a role that Kohler can play, really in the kitchen, when you're talking about connected products, it's around that water management space. So products like connected faucets, and one of the things that we feel is really important with with the connected faucets is offering multimodal control. So with those, we have your normal manual control that you can use. There is a touchless control for those products, but then there's also voice control. With that voice control, you can, you know, control the volumes that are being dispensed. You can save specific settings within the app for things like you've got your favorite pasta pot or coffee pot that you're always filling. Well, you can save that as a setting in the app and then just use voice command to fill that coffee pot. So you don't have to stand there and wait for it to fill. You could actually go and do something else. So, of course, the touchless aspect, again, the voice control, when your hands are messy, you've been cutting up chicken, you know, that's great from a hygiene perspective as well. So those connected faucets are really, you know, a great solution with a lot of great use cases within that kitchen space. Of course, when you're talking about the kitchen, we're also talking then about water and safe water. So with water filtration, you know, particularly some under the sink type devices, when do you need to replace those filters? We do offer our Aquifer Refine, which is a connected water filtration system. It uses 3 different types of water filters within the unit to make sure you're getting that high quality water. And it notifies you when you're getting towards the end of filter life. And you can also have it where it automatically reorders those filters for you. And then the last one that really focuses in on that water management piece is our H2Wise product, which is, it monitors your water usage and also monitors then for leaks. We have 2 different systems that we offer with that. One that would be installed just under the kitchen sink, that one unit under the sink can monitor usage through the whole home. And because of the intelligence in that product, it will learn what devices are using water. And so you can see where the water is being used, but then also it's using the technology to detect if there's a leak and send you a notification.
All right.
The other version we have of that product is the H2Wise Plus, which actually installs on the main water line of the home. And if there is a leak detected, it will automatically turn the water off, send you that notification that it's been detected, and shut off the water to mitigate any water damage risk in the home.
So convenience, conservation, protect the house from water damage. That's awesome. Let's move into the bathroom, and let's talk about some of the advancements and technology and features that we can add to that room.
Yeah, I was going to start with just a few things we're seeing from a trends perspective in the bathroom that I thought would be of value to this audience. You know, one of the things that we're always looking at, particularly in the bathroom, of course, is kind of getting into some of that multi-generational discussion that was happening earlier, is what are the trends that we're seeing and what are the preferences, you know, depending on the age groups out there. And so we tried to look at what are things of interest, what are differences between the boomers, the Gen Xers, and the millennials. One of the things that we are seeing that really spans across all of those generations is that people are looking for smart technologies to help simplify their daily tasks. So there's these typical routines that we have, and I think a comment was made earlier about how precious time is, and they're really looking at smart technologies to simplify tasks, to give them back some of that time within their day that they can spend then relaxing, unwinding, time with the family, whatever that may be. One of the things that we're seeing that's really interesting is this rekindled love for taking baths. And the part that's interesting with that is we are seeing this driven by millennials. They are really citing, this love for taking baths, but what they're identifying is that often time is the issue that keeps them from being able to take that bath. And it's not always about the time to be in the bath, it's you have to go, you have to turn the bath on, you have to then, monitor it. If you get distracted, then the temperature might have gone down in the bath and you have to drain some out and refill it again to get it to that level that you wanted it. So that's the thing that they're citing as being an issue with having the time to take a bath. The other thing that's interesting with that is we're actually seeing where millennials are wanting to dedicate more space to a bath than showers, and that's different than what we see with boomers and Gen Xers. They're still wanting to dedicate more space for a great shower. Millennials are starting to shift the other direction, which is we find very interesting. And overall, really across all groups, we're seeing that shower still is playing a very important role in how they feel with starting the day and ending the day. That they want a great experience and they do want to customize to meet their needs. And this, of course, is going to be different for that morning shower when they're starting to get ready for the day, or a shower in the evening when they want to wind down or after a workout.
Got it. All right. Shane, thank you very much. Liz.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
How do we tie it all together with shading products and why? What do we get out of it? How do we enhance kitchens and baths? Let's start there.
Well, if we're going to start growing food, we beyond my dill weed or whatever you try to put in your stuff. Listen, this isn't new, right? This is a product that attaches to the beautiful windows that you do, and your home buyer is demanding to know what you have to offer. And we want to not only control natural light with our window coverings, but we want to optimize it as well. Speaking of the bathtub though, right? No woman, I'm going to tell you right now, wants to step into that tub, lean over to, have privacy in the room, right? So our shadings, blinds, shutters, whether you do it on a manual system in some applications of the home, maybe due to budget, you need to mix it up.
Sure.
But certainly in kitchens, bath, living, and master are four main areas that people, as we've all said, do put more investment into. We want to make that a motorized solution to where it automates, right? Which is where you come in. I need that good, strong internet network. So the application for the photos that you see here truly do provide a way that people live, right? They want to control and adjust. In bathrooms and kitchens, we're sensitive to the material our products are made out of, having the strongest warranty against the moisture, no mold, high humidity, so you get concerned about mold. So we've taken care of all that for you. It's not new, or it's not like a secret that your customer is going to go out aftermarket and go try to put something on those windows. So we want to make sure that you have that solution-oriented product in your home package for your buyer that truly does provide the privacy and the security, and most importantly in kitchens and bathrooms, the comfort level that they desire, whether it's, putting on the makeup and diffusing light or whatever. And these photos illustrate it. Tilt-in turn windows, we have applications for that. And really how the builder, all of you here in the room, work it into your project. My best advice for you is when you're pulling wiring, if you want to do a hardwired application, future-proof that home to the window, right? It's low voltage. Or if they do our rechargeable battery solution, we have that for those doors that need to be covered as well. So look at, already solving the problem for the home buyer and get out in front of it.
Sure.
And don't leave that on the table, because that's what sets you apart from the competition.
So as we shift into the office, everyone's doing meetings from home.
Yeah.
Most of them are video. So how can we enhance that office space, and why would we want to consider including shades in that room for
Well,
video?
just like this bright light on us right here, right? We were all a little probably conscious of what color you wear. And listen, we all quickly flipped a switch, right? We all had to start consulting over a phone. How do I design online? But also, what do I look like? Can they see me? We all know when bright sunlight, and I love everyone's, conference calls that we've been on, everyone's got a shade in behind them, right? Everyone's kind of looking. I look a little more closer than others. But when you have a very bright light behind you, nobody can see your face, and I know you all know that by now. So that's what I mean by controlling natural light. So it's very important. Not only do you have a beautiful, nice, no one wants a broken blind or a cord hanging like tied up in 5 knots, or I have seen some G.I. Joe heads wrapped up in things. That's gone of the past. But we want to have a beautiful presence of our environment that really adds to what you're presenting. But you need to control that light so people can see you and it's a comfortable setting. Yeah.
In my experience working with builders and building out spaces, thinking about the use case in a space. So office, block that light, right? Bathrooms, give someone privacy.
Yeah.
If you take it into a TV room, you got a southern exposed window across from a TV. Let's block that light, right? Think
Yeah.
about how they're going to use that space. Show it in the model. Give them that experience of what they're actually going to move into day one.
And by the way, Joe, if you guys will stop by where I'm at here, we have, we now have a blackout solution. And I, a few years ago, would not use that word blackout, right? That was duct tape and tinfoil, to be honest with you. But we truly have a blackout solution because, to your point, I've purchased 2 custom-built homes myself recently in a home I remodeled. But I wanted the window in the media room for resale value. But to your point, I needed that blackout to have that true movie experience. Or if it's in Texas, those west-facing windows aren't very kind to us.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we've moved into the office, and we're going to talk a little bit about technology to ensure proper sound, proper light, proper network. Where would you like to start, Jerry?
I would just like to say that to the shade point, I was told that I look better in the dark, so the blackout shades.
Yeah, I always wonder why you wore the mask during our video conferences.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, you've heard a lot this morning about the different applications and hardware, but the thing that all this ties into is the network at the end of the day. As builders, you are price conscious. You really want to do what you can to take costs out of the home. I would ask that you really look at placing hardwired locations in strategic parts of the home. Wireless is great, but at the end of the day, wireless is a convenience. It's not the rule. So if there's a designated space or potential space that could be designed for an office, put a hard point in, a media closet, things like that. Because all a wireless access point is a pipe, and that pipe can get filled with data. So looking at the evolution of the home, looking at kids with their iPads and mom watching stuff on Netflix and dad watching YouTube or doing a video conference, most of us have been there. That pipe closes quickly. And with GE and other manufacturers utilizing Wi-Fi as the primary communication for their devices, once again, it fills everything in. take into consideration that office space, artificial and natural light, color temperature of the light and fixtures that you're putting in there, and the space. I think that all of us would agree that we spend probably way too much time in our home office now compared to what we used to spend in a traditional office because of the convenience. So please put that at front of mind as you're designing.
Yeah. So there's a lot of features in commercial networks to help manage traffic. How hard or easy or expensive is it to give some managed networks so the parents have their bandwidth when they need a meeting and the kids aren't hogging it up with gaming? I mean,
It's not that hard. It's choosing the right partner. Your local integrator has access to amazing products. Some are made by us, some are made by our competitors. Remote management, the ability to log into the house if there is a challenge and having that integrator not have to roll a truck or solve that homeowner's condition right there on the spot is powerful. The other part of this that we didn't put into this whole thing was power management. And the importance of good, clean power, and also the ability to cycle and turn things on and off. So at the end of the day, if a well-planned network doesn't have to be expensive, if it's thought through, as a builder, you can put in a base infrastructure that homeowner, as their needs grow over time, or technology happens to change, that they have the ability to upgrade along the way. So at the end of the day, it's very painful to see that a lot of builders make the mistake and think that one wireless access point in the middle of the house is going to do everything for everybody. It's just not the case. And if we're going to transition, I guess we can transition to outdoors. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready when you are.
So once again, outdoor entertainment, outdoor living, that wireless access point, we are taking more and more of our handheld devices outside. And a good network and a properly designed network is the key to this. Whether it's streaming video, streaming music, maybe controlling low voltage lighting, having a cocktail on the drink and getting a notification that your steaks are done, outdoor grilling, things along those lines. And even down to your side with the shade for privacy or for sun control. So everything that we've talked about today, including the water management side of it, can all go to this outside living space.
Yeah.
And once again, we're seeing more and more people do this. I was actually on a call with a gentleman last week, and he switched from one device to the other, and he had the backdrop, the artificial backdrop, and when it switched over, we saw that he was standing in his pool doing a video call. So it happens. It happens a lot. So
Yeah. So for outdoor entertainment, right? That's a big activity. I think that people are spending more time at home. They want to make sure they've got some cool places to hang with the family or maybe friends. Maybe the builder's not going to sell an outdoor TV pre-close, but what can they do to offer something that is built in that gets people ready to add that TV from the integrator maybe after close?
well, once again, it really does come down to your trades and the relationship that you have with your trades. Communication is everything. If you lay out an expectation of what you want your home to be and how you intend on marketing it, you need either a low voltage contractor or an electrical contractor that does this work, that understands your vision and delivers on it. It doesn't make sense for you to do a TV as part of a package for outdoor. If you're not making money on it, don't do it. But providing the receptacle and all the conductivity that you need for that area is key. You don't want that homeowner moving in and running into roadblocks and asking, well, why didn't you? Why didn't you? Why didn't you? We see it all the time. And on the outdoor space, some of us have pre-designed backyards and exterior decks that we can pre-plan for that customer. But in a lot of cases, it's the customer's prerogative once they move in. But providing the ability to put an outdoor WAP in or having conduit to your distribution closet will make all the difference in the world. So
Yeah, I think power for low voltage transformers for lighting, power for TVs, and not only power, but internet as well. Some of the low voltage landscape lighting is being controlled over the network now. So that covers the 4 areas. Before we see if there's any questions out there, anyone have any closing thoughts really about helping builders plan, market, and drive sell-through?
Yeah, I just wanted to segue off what you said though about, you know, the communication piece. You know, we moved into, I said, you know, the low voltage wiring to the window, right? They're already there, rely on your trades. At Hunter Douglas, we took great value in partnering with our custom integrators throughout North America to not only educate them on our system and its connectivity, but also on the shading product options as well. And you know, like I said, I don't want that to get ignored, but when you go ahead and you're there and they're in the home behind the drywall before it goes up, you know, we use a 4-cable communication data wire, right? So whether the product is compatible to it or not, it's there, as I said, to future-proof that home. And so offering, helping to sell more homes is having, you know, a product that solves a problem. You all in this room want to be partnered with a reliable company, as I hope we're all representing here on the stage, to take that customer and educate them far beyond them even getting to you or your design center. So I will say, you know, having the Hunter Douglas branded products as an option to add in, very affordable way. It is the most affordable way to add that to the home. It's going to help you just, again, elevate and stay a little bit different than the next guy that could be 3 houses down, depending on your development or your customization. But having the last thing I'll say is, you know, I understand, I'm in the field. We have as well the largest field network. We have warranty service centers throughout the United States. We do fabricate locally in the US, and having a proactive service solution, I think, is key for each of you. I don't think any of these appliances, I know we all get the big stack of books, but the shades should not be left out. They are a moving, functioning product like your car, and they're going to be used. And so sell with confidence, knowing you have the brand behind you.
Yeah, thanks, Liz.
You're welcome.
I think the key for what some of the things or goals we're trying to do here is, you may not be putting shades in pre-closed, you may not be putting some of these outdoor products in, but having the house ready for it is a big differentiator from a used house. And we only get about 9% of the sales are new homes each year, yet 60–70% of people would either prefer to or intend to buy a new home. So these are the things that are going to push people over the edge and drive business. It's fat times now, but planning for this in the future is something that's going to really help the new home market. So I'd like to thank my guests very much for the time and prep and sharing your stories today.